Lamar's mother always said he had convenient skin, light enough to disarm white strangers at the hardware store where he stocked shelves, dark enough to feel his co-workers' stares when he mentioned his grandfather's jazz records. That duality had kept him safe. Until tonight, the bell above the diner door jingled. 3 men stumbled in, laughter sharp with bourbon. Lamar recognized the tallest one, Cody Briggs. Star quarterback turned real estate mogul. Local hero. Another round, sweetheart. Cody slapped the counter, his championship ring clinking against the Formica. Lamar kept his head down, tracing the scar on his wrist from a childhood bike accident. The waitress, Marisol, hurried over with coffee. Her hands shook. Hey! Cody's voice turned venomous. You ignoring me, Julieta? Marisol backed away. I'll get your check. Cody grabbed her arm. Lamar's breath hitched. Asterisk, don't get involved. Walk away. Asterisk, but then he saw the photo pinned to Marisol's apron. Her and a little girl at a fair, cotton candy smeared on both their faces. Let her go. The words left Lamar's mouth before he could stop them. Cody turned, his smile widening. You her knight in shining armor? The other men snickered. Lamar's pulse roared in his ears. Just leave her alone. Cody released Marisol and stepped closer. Lamar caught the scent of expensive cologne and danger. You think you're one of them? Cody nodded toward the kitchen, where the black dishwasher scrubbed pans. Or one of us? The question hung like a noose. Marisol fled. The dishwasher's eyes met Lamar's through the service window. Asterisk run asterisk. But Lamar froze. Cody's fist connected with his jaw. The sun rose in jagged streaks over Lamar's cramped studio apartment, its weak light filtering through blinds that hadn't been opened in days. A bag of frozen peas wept condensation onto the cracked Formica table, its chill long gone. Lamar's jaw throbbed in time with his heartbeat, the bruise blooming purple and yellow like a rotten flower. He hadn't slept. Every time he closed his eyes, he saw Cody's fist arcing toward him, heard the wet crunch of bone on bone, felt the cold linoleum of the diner floor against his cheek as Marisol's screams echoed down the street. His phone buzzed again. 7 missed calls from his sister, Tasha. He couldn't answer. Not yet. Not until he figured out how to tell her that the Briggs family, who owned the nursing home where she worked nights, now had leverage over both their lives. A knock shattered the silence. Lamar peered through the peephole. Detective Rivera stood in the hallway, his badge dangling carelessly from his neck. Behind him, the flickering hallway light cast long shadows that made the detective's face look like a rubber mask stretched too tight. Open up, Mr. Hayes. We need to talk. The door creaked open. Rivera stepped inside, his polished shoes tracking mud onto the frayed welcome mat Tasha had crocheted last Christmas. He didn't sit, didn't remove his sunglasses despite the dimness of the room. Briggs is pressing charges, Rivera said, tossing a manila folder onto the table. It slid through a puddle of melted ice, blurring the words assault, 2nd degree. Lamar's throat tightened. He attacked me. There were witnesses. Witnesses. Rivera smirked, pulling out his phone. The screen glowed with security footage from Benny's diner. But the video was wrong. Asterisk edited star. Now it showed Lamar lunging at Cody. Marisol cropped out entirely. The timestamp read 11:05 p.m., not 11:03. 2 minutes missing. 2 minutes that would have shown Cody grabbing Marisol, Lamar's hesitation, the dishwasher's warning glance. This is fake, Lamar whispered. Rivera leaned in, his cologne reeking of mothballs and mint. Briggs' uncle runs the security company that installed Benny's cameras. Funny how things disappear, huh? The neon sign outside the rusty anchor buzzed like a trapped wasp, its flickering light staining the rain-slicked pavement blood-red. Lamar hunched deeper into his hoodie, the collar damp with mist, as he scanned the bar's grimy windows. Marisol's estranged husband, Carlos, had agreed to meet here, a dive frequented by day laborers and men who paid cash to forget their names. Inside, the air reeked of stale beer and industrial cleaner. A jukebox played a warped corrido, the melody twisting under the weight of broken speakers. Carlos sat in the back booth, his knuckles tattooed with fading ink. Viva M. His eyes tracked Lamar like a predator. She's gone, Carlos said before Lamar could sit. Crossed the border 3 days ago. No note, no call. Lamar slid into the cracked vinyl seat. Why? Carlos lit a cigarette, the flame trembling. Two hombres showed up at her place. Told her to forget what she saw. Took her kid. He exhaled smoke, his voice dropping. They said the girl would come back if Marisol disappeared. The jukebox skipped. Viva M became Viva M became Viva M. You know who they were? Lamar asked. Carlos stubbed out the cigarette. One had a scar here. He traced a line from eyebrow to chin. Like yours. Lamar's hand flew to his face, the jagged mark from Cody's ring. The plea deal sat between them, crisp and damning. D.A. Eleanor Shaw steepled her manicured fingers. Sign this, and Cody drops the assault charges. Your record stays clean. Lamar stared at the document. What about Marisol? Her daughter. Shaw's smile didn't reach her eyes. Irrelevant to this case. Irrelevant. Lamar's voice rose. They were kidnapped. The D.A. stood, her shadow swallowing him. Let me be clear, Mr. Hayes. Testify, and your sister loses her nursing license. Her daughters get expelled from St. Agnes. That scholarship for your niece? Gone. She leaned closer, her perfume cloying. Sign, and we protect your family. It's that simple. A folder slid across the desk. Inside, photos of Tasha's house, her car, her daughter's playground. Lamar's hands shook. The call came as Lamar paced his apartment. Asterisk, come to the house. Now. Asterisk, Tasha's voice was a wire stretched taut. He found her in the kitchen, clutching a stuffed unicorn, her youngest favorite toy. The back door hung open, night air clawing at the curtains. They were here, Tasha whispered. Lamar followed her gaze to the wall. Red paint slashed across the family first cross-stitch their mother had made. Asterisk, stay quiet or they drown. Asterisk. Outside, the tire swing spun lazily in the wind, its rope frayed. Benny's was dark, but Lamar knew where Benny hid the spare key. The dish pit reeked of mold and bleach. Mr. Jenkins' locker stood ajar, his nameplate pried off. Lamar's phone flashlight trembled as he sifted through receipts and grease-stained aprons. Then, a thumb drive taped behind a rusted vent. The footage was raw, unedited. Asterisk 11:0, 3 p.m. Asterisk Cody grabbing Marisol. Asterisk 11:0, 4 asterisk Lamar rising from the booth. Asterisk 11:0, 5 asterisk the punch. Asterisk 11:0, 6 asterisk Jenkins. Phone to ear, dialing 911 before clutching his chest. And there in the corner, Scarface, watching from a black SUV. As dawn bled through the curtains, Lamar's phone lit up. Asterisk unknown number asterisk. Asterisk last chance. Sign the deal. Asterisk. Lamar deleted it. He copied the footage to 3 thumb drives. Mailed one to Carlos. Buried one in his mother's grave. The third he kept. The courthouse steps were slick with rain as Lamar climbed them, his dress shoes pinching with every step. The morning air smelled of wet concrete and diesel fumes from the idling news vans lining the street. Reporters shouted questions that blended together into a meaningless roar. Asterisk Lamar. Do you really think you can win? How does it feel knowing the Briggs family owns this courthouse? Asterisk. Inside, the air was thick with the scent of lemon polish and stale coffee. The bailiff, a heavy-set man with a permanent scowl, directed Lamar to the witness stand. As he walked past the defense table, Cody Briggs smirked, his championship ring glinting under the fluorescent lights. He leaned over to whisper something to his lawyer, a silver-haired shark in a $3,000 suit, and they both chuckled. The prosecutor, a young black woman named Alicia Mendez, gave Lamar's shoulder a reassuring squeeze. Just tell the truth, she murmured. That's all we need. But the truth, Lamar was learning, was a slippery thing. Defense attorney Richard Holloway adjusted his cufflinks as he approached the stand, his voice dripping with false warmth. Mr. Hayes, isn't it true that you initiated the confrontation with my client? Lamar gripped the edge of the witness stand. No. He grabbed Marisol. Ah, yes, Marisol. Holloway feigned confusion. The waitress who, according to records, quit her job and left the state the very next day. He turned to the jury, raising an eyebrow. How convenient. Alicia shot to her feet. Objection. That's speculation. The judge, An elderly white man who hadn't looked up from his crossword all morning waved a hand. Overruled. Answer the question, Mr. Hayes. Lamar's pulse roared in his ears. She didn't quit. She was forced out. Holloway smirked. By whom? My client. The bogeyman. The jury tittered. Then came the question Lamar had dreaded. Mr. Hayes, you identify as black, correct? Lamar stiffened. I'm mixed. Ah, so when you claim this was a racially motivated attack, isn't it possible you're projecting? Holloway circled him like a vulture. After all, you've admitted you don't fully identify with either community. Couldn't this just be a case of a drunk man misreading a situation? The words hung in the air, poisonous. Lamar's skin prickled. He glanced at the jury, mostly white, mostly older, their faces unreadable. Alicia objected again, but the damage was done. The courtroom doors burst open halfway through the trial. Carlos stood there, breathing hard, his clothes soaked with rain. I have proof, he shouted, holding up a thumb drive. The real footage from the diner. The gallery erupted. Reporters scrambled for their cameras. Judge Rollins finally looked up from his crossword, annoyed. Bailiff, restrain that man. But as the guards moved toward him, Carlos's eyes widened. He clutched his stomach, then collapsed. The thumb drive skittered across the floor, stopping at Lamar's feet. Paramedics rushed in, but it was too late. Carlos was gone, his lips tinged blue. Poison, Lamar wondered numbly. Or a staged heart attack, just like Jenkins? The judge declared a mistrial. As the courtroom emptied, Lamar knelt to pick up the thumb drive. A note was taped to it. Asterisk, they'll never let you win. Asterisk. Outside, the rain had stopped. The sun glared down, unforgiving. Somewhere in the distance, a car backfired, or maybe it was a gunshot. Lamar pocketed the drive and walked away. The fight wasn't over. The safe house smelled like stale cigarettes and paranoia. Lamar sat at a chipped Formica table, staring at the thumb drive Carlos had died for. The police report claimed it was a drug overdose. Asterisk, just another dead Latino. Asterisk, the detective had shrugged, but the coroner's photo told a different story. Carlos's lips had been blue, his fingers curled into claws. Poison. A knock at the door. Lamar's hand went to the gun tucked in his waistband, a .38 Special Tasha had forced on him after the first trial. You don't get to be a martyr, she'd hissed, pressing it into his hands. The knock came again, sharper this time. Lamar peered through the peephole. A woman stood there, her blonde hair pulled into a tight bun, her designer sunglasses hiding her eyes. Emily Briggs, Cody's sister. You gonna let me in? She said, not asking. Or do I have to start screaming for the cops? Emily didn't sit. She paced the tiny kitchen like a caged animal, her heels clicking against the linoleum. I know what my brother did, she said abruptly. I know about the edited footage. About Marisol. She paused, her voice dropping. About the others. Lamar stiffened. Asterisk others. Asterisk. Emily slid a manila envelope across the table. Inside were photos, 5 men, all black or Latino, all with the same story. Assaulted Cody Briggs. Asterisk, charges dropped after witnesses recanted. Asterisk. His little hobby. Emily spat. Daddy's lawyers always clean it up. Lamar studied the dates. The first was from 10 years ago, back when Cody was still in high school. Why help me now? Emily's smile was razor thin. Because Daddy cut me out of the will last week. She tapped the thumb drive. That's the original diner footage. But it won't be enough. You need this. She dropped a key onto the table. Safety deposit box, 147 at First National. The password is Sophia. The second trial was quieter than the first. No reporters. No protests. Just 12 jurors and the hum of the air conditioner. This time, when Lamar took the stand, he didn't flinch at Holloway's questions. You claim my client forced Marisol to leave town, Holloway sneered. Where's your proof? Lamar reached into his pocket. The courtroom gasped as the projector flickered to life. Not just the diner footage, but security tapes from the Briggs estate. There was Cody, laughing as Scarface handed him a burner phone. Make the call, Cody said. Asterisk, another one for the scrapbook. Asterisk. The jury recoiled. Then came the coup de grace, a video of Cody bragging to his frat brothers. Asterisk, Judge's kid goes to my golf club. DA's wife shops at my mall. This city, it's asterisk mine. The gallery erupted. The judge's gavel came down like a guillotine. They deliberated for 3 days. When the foreman stood, his hands shook. Asterisk, guilty on all counts. Asterisk. Cody's face went slack. His father stormed out. The bailiffs moved in, their hands on their guns. But as they led Cody away, he locked eyes with Lamar and smiled. This isn't over, he mouthed. Outside, Emily waited in a black sedan. She rolled down the window, just enough to speak. Get in if you want to live. Lamar hesitated. Then the first gunshot rang out.